What's up, guys? Just want to welcome you to another update video. It's been about 2 or 3 weeks since I've done any kind of recording with this car, so I just want to give a quick walk around, show you what I've done. We've cleaned the interior, did a full detail, vacuumed all the carpets, put these floor mats back in, scrubbed, top to bottom. Everything in the interior is cleaned. Headliner started falling again. We had to glue that back on. All glasses have been cleaned. They're a little bit dirty now because it's already been a few weeks, but anyways, shined up all the plastics. Everything looks fantastic. A little Bluetooth transmitter in there that we don't need anymore because we actually put in a new stereo, as you can see, and it doesn't fit the bezel that was provided by Corvette. So I might replace that stereo, or maybe I'll have someone 3D print something to kind of fill in that gap, because I low-key don't feel like spending money on a new stereo. I haven't really done a lot of like upgrades or shit that needs to get done, pertaining to the issues that this car has. For example, this coolant line has not been fixed yet. I still haven't deleted the emissions. Oh, interesting thing, this car does not burn oil at all, which is amazing for a 35-year-old car. This I'll show you guys. When I did the oil change on this, I wasn't able to fill it up all the way. Let's see if I can do this carefully. So as you can see, it's about halfway up the dipstick, and it has been at that position for, I want to say, the last month, with probably 500 miles on it at this point. So I mean, we did a whole ass road trip with this thing not even fully topped off with oil, and it hasn't burned a single drop. No leaks, no burn, nothing, which is incredible. Absolutely incredible. It is low mileage, so 80,000 miles. Those seals are still holding up, and I don't want to jinx it. Hood latch broke, so we had to take these plastics off here, and I have some videos of that I might throw into this video as well. Take these plastics off. We had to stick our arm up around and into this, or behind this bar, and use some pliers to pull this cable back to pop the hood open. And this, I guess this is the latch thing here. This thing was super rusty and gummed up, so I sprayed some WD-40 on there, and it's a little bit easier to open now. Another trick that we saw online and decided to employ was this emergency hood latch opener with zip ties. Now this thing isn't very strong. I already made one of them and it didn't work, so I was actually able to get the hood open again because I greased this up a little bit with the WD-40. But the first emergency latch didn't work, so I made another one with some stronger zip ties, but I haven't tested it yet, and I don't want to test it because if it breaks, then I have to make another one. But I probably have to do that down the line anyways. Let's take a look in the driver's side. So as I said, we detailed everything on this car. So all the plastics are clean. There is some dust and stuff. This was about 2 or 3 weeks ago that we cleaned everything up. There is some dirt and shit down on the carpets. I didn't get to the pedals. I wanted to clean those, but I wasn't able to. These are the hood latch cables. So I have these popped out right now because we've just been having so many frequent issues with the hood, and the whole mechanism on the underside here is just not tight. The hood latch is not pulling the way it needs to, and that needs to be addressed eventually. But for now, I'm just leaving those cables out so I can just pull them with pliers. It's a lot easier than having to jimmy the latch. Got a little air freshener down here. This thing smells amazing. And yeah, fully cleaned here. This, I guess, shifter, not column, but just the display for where you are, where the gear is, or where you are in the gears or in the transmission, that fell off. And so we needed to take this whole, plastic cover off and super glue it from the underside and put it in, fit it back onto the shifter itself. So that's holding up pretty well, pretty stable, pretty secure. Again, this is the new stereo. It's Sony, and I have some videos of me wiring that up. Seat controls all work. I'm not going to show you because I don't want to use these things, honestly. Console's all clean. And come around to the back. This is our box with pretty much everything we need to, repair this car on the fly. So we got distilled water, coolant. Looks like camera's having trouble picking everything up. The glue, screwdrivers, pliers, detailing stuff, funnels, etc., etc. That box can probably be thrown away now. I did Velcro a fire extinguisher down in the back here because, for safety purposes. But this back area cleaned up excellent. I mean, it's just amazing. This car is just aged so well. Just looks fantastic. So these speakers have been replaced. The front speakers do not work. I don't want to dive too deep into why they don't work, but in short, the connectors up here are not getting any power. So, and I checked the fuses. It's not a fuse issue. I mean, it could be, I mean, it honestly could be a fuse or relay issue, but as I said, I didn't look into it too deep, and I just know they're not working. But honestly, these rear speakers are so loud with this new stereo that I don't even need the front ones. They just sound amazing the way it is. So, you know, maybe later down the line, I'll, you know, dive into that a little bit further and see if there's anything I can do there. But for now, I'm totally satisfied with the way it sounds. Now I'm gonna flex on you guys and show you just how easy it is to start this car. Just to prove that this is a cold start. God damn it, this thing is so fucking hard to get with one hand. Coolant, completely cold. Get that thing closed up. I literally just have to breathe on the key and this thing comes to life. And I haven't started in about a day or two, so I'll show you just how easy it is. And I don't want to actually flex on you guys. I'm just excited to show off how easy it is to start this car. I mean, breathed on it, man. Roared to life. Show you all the stereo. This thing is Bluetooth and it's super sweet. I mean, it just connects right away. Don't have to do any kind of bullshit setup every time, so that's nice. But I can't connect to Bluetooth while I'm recording, so I'll just have to put it on the radio. I actually haven't tried this yet, so here we go. How do I change the channels? Oh, right here. Whoops. I mean, I'm sure the video won't do it justice, but these things sound great. That'll be about it for this walk around. I'm gonna put all the videos of me doing the stereo work and hood latch after this kind of walk around part, so y'all be able to see that. But anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. All right, you guys, what is up? Today we are gonna be doing, and I apologize for the train noise in the background, we're gonna be working on this stereo and the front speakers here. That stereo that was in there, it's a Pioneer. I'll show it to you guys. This thing is a piece of shit. I mean, these connectors are just, they're just fucked. I don't know what's going on here, but I need to find a way to connect these, splice these, and either solder or heat shrink them to the wires of this new stereo that'll hopefully match the aesthetic a little bit better because it's black on black. Getting the dash pad off here was kind of a pain in the ass. We got all the plastics off. It's a little messy. And then as far as the front speakers go, the wiring is baffling me a little bit. So there was a positive connector on the positive terminal of the speaker, but there was no negative. And then on the other side of this cord, or this wire here, it wasn't connected to anything. And that was the same issue on both sides. So, and oops, I almost dropped it down into the pit there, the abyss. So I need to watch some YouTube videos and figure that out. But that's gonna be the project for today, and I'm gonna focus on the stereo because at least the back speakers work, and they work pretty well. We actually already replaced them with some I want to say Scotch or something like that, some Walmart speakers I've had for years just laying around in my room. So they sound a little bit better, still not, you know, top tier. The stereo is, you know, of course, inhibiting those speakers to an extent. Then again, they are Walmart speakers, so not the greatest, but you know, they'll do. I like to get the front speakers working though eventually, so I need to dig into that issue, find out why the wiring's so screwed up, and yeah, the car's gonna be off limits for a few days because I need to just get this all figured out, and this is gonna be a mess. Hopefully we can get everything together, get that new stereo in, get those speakers in, get this thing bumping, and get back on the road, man. She's looking good. I'd also like to see what I can do about this. Now, I don't know if this is just, you know, fading or sun damage. Almost looks like overspray, like primer overspray to me, but I have a hard time imagining that's what it is. So maybe I'll try hitting it with some reducer and see if it comes off, or some kind of, you know, lacquer thinner. I doubt it's overspray though. It's probably just damage I need to refinish it with some kind of product. Yeah, that's a project for another day. This, on the other hand, this is overspray. This is from me. This is my my 4-hour paint job, my half-day paint job, and my masking is not the best. So I need to hit this with some reducer and kind of rub that out, and then restore some of these black plastics or black rubbers, whatever this stuff is, the weather stripping. We are down at the workbench for this project. This is the Pioneer stereo that we are swapping out. This is the old system that was in the car, and this is the mess of wiring that came with it. We need to reuse this connector here. So I need to cut these wires somewhere around here and splice them with this new connector that Sony has provided with their stereo, which comes with Bluetooth and bass boost or whatever other amenities Walmart stereos come with. I'm really not terribly interested. I just think the aesthetic matches better, the black on black with the black plastics in the car. And hopefully it sounds a little bit better too. It'll just be a nice refresh for the car. This thing doesn't really fit in my opinion, and it's definitely kind of dated. So in order to do this, I'm going to be using this solder gun, this solder material that I found, which I think is solder material. It could just be metal wire. Hopefully not, because then I need to go buy some. But anyways, I also have some electrical tape to kind of tape off some of these connectors that aren't being used. So we have starter cutoff, alarm output, door lock. I'm not sure why any of this is even connected, or linked with the stereo, but they're connected into the back here, and these connectors won't come out of the stereo, so they just need to be cut and then taped off and just out of the way so I don't have to deal with them. We just need the bare minimum here, which is these 8 wires or however many there is, and we'll just color match them. We'll solder them together. I do need to pick up some heat shrink tubing first, so I need to go do that. I'm also gonna eat some lunch, get some heat shrink tubing, and then we can start soldering, putting everything together. I don't have wire strippers, and no, I'm not gonna buy some. I'm just gonna try and get away with using these clippers here, which is kind of ballsy. Hopefully I don't cut too much off, but I had to do this years ago, and I used the same tool, or roughly the same tool, and it worked fine. It was a little bit tricky, but I think we can make it happen, and hopefully we can get this all in by the end of the day and get some tunes bumping in the car. So that's the plan. I've already started cutting some of these wires back with these cutters here. If you're delicate and careful with this, you can do it pretty easily. Just kind of gotta play with it a little bit. Make sure you get a good cut established through the protective plastic, just like that. So for example, it looks like on this one, I accidentally cut through a little bit of the copper, at least one of these little pieces. So I'm just gonna have to make a new cut. All right, so these are all prepped and ready. Now we just need to solder everything together and get the tubing on there. All right, there we have it. We are done soldering our connections. Made one little oopsie here. I forgot to put a heat shrink tube on there, so we just taped it for now. This should all work, so we're gonna throw this in the car. We'll see. I'm a little bit doubtful because of some of these questionable wires that have just been sticking out. As far as the soldering goes, it wasn't that bad. I haven't done this in a few years, so kind of just jogging the memory a little bit. I didn't watch any YouTube videos or anything, which I probably should have, because it took me about 20-30 minutes to really get the hang of it. Once I did, it was easy to, knock out, a wire per minute or so. Overall, not too bad, and excited to put this stereo in. What's up, fellas? Merry Christmas. 1 week exactly until Christmas Day. My buddy was feeling festive and put this little Christmas wreath on the front. Figured I would close off this video with an update about a month ahead of those clips in the front of this video. Me soldering the stereo and all that jazz. A bunch of bird shit on the car. I need to wash it terribly. Paint job's holding up good. I'll make this quick. So I found a bezel for the single DIN radio. The radio that was in there before was a 1.5, so I thought I was gonna have trouble finding, correct housing for it. But Walmart actually had a kit that was for double and single, and one of the housings in there just kind of fit right around it, and obviously it's flush. So yeah, it was a pain in the ass to install those kits. They give you like 40 or 50 different adapters so that, because every car is different, the screw locations are different. You have to find the right piece that works for you, and sometimes that can take a while. Me personally, I think it's protruding a little bit too much outwards, but I'm not bothered enough to take it all apart and push those brackets back. As I said, it was a lengthy process. It took a lot longer than I needed to. Now to the fun part. I would like to talk about this because the window regulator, as I'm sure you're already drawing conclusions about, is not fixed. So I'm gonna get a lot of disapproving glances, looks, comments for this, but my fix for this winter season, because it's blisteringly cold, is to shove some quadruple folded shop towels in between the door and the glass. There's a good amount of tension on the glass, so it's not going to come off. I've already done another road trip with this car. I did about 100 miles in it at about top speed of 90, I'd say, and it held up well. So my only major concern is sometimes the window comes out of alignment, and sometimes it'll scrape right here. So this is from the window being out of alignment. And dude, every time that chain moves on that fence, it's just the wind blowing on the black screen. It just scares the shit out of me. I feel like someone's rolling up. And right here, so got to make sure that this window, or the window glass is flush here with the weather stripping, which sometimes it gets pushed back. And what the fuck was that motion? Sometimes it gets pushed back, and then you'll have wind noise coming in through here, which is annoying to deal with. Finally, on that road trip I was just talking about, I was getting a lot of wind noise, and I had corrected the glass already on both sides. Well, actually not that side. I just double checked that side. That side's good. This side, I fixed the glass, made sure it was in line. And then I was still getting so much wind noise, and so I kind of traced it down a little bit, and I figured out that this top here, I gotta be careful, I can't touch this bird shit. This top here, it's two pieces. So you have obviously this, I guess whatever this is, fiberglass or aluminum, and then you have the interior section. So this is kind of the underside. So this plasticky stuff, not here, you can't even see it, it's up here, this. So it's two separate parts, and basically my hypothesis is that when this top originally flew off, it kind of got beat up a little bit, and basically the two parts separated. So as you're driving, and once you hit about 60 miles an hour, this starts to raise up a little bit and start flapping, even though it's screwed in all the way, because the screw only goes into the interior part of the top. So this part still flies up, and so it'll kind of bob in the wind depending on how fast you go. So my fix for that, because it's two parts, I can get away with just super gluing this here, and I don't think I had any super glue, in an area that's gonna bind with the weather stripping when we want to take this top off again, say in the spring. But even if that's the case, I doubt the super glue is gonna actually hold it in against someone just pulling it up. Super glue is not as super as it sounds. So anyways, shitload of mud on the tires. It has been terribly wet here the last few days. But yeah, I think that's about it for the quick update. Actually, there is one other thing. We did do new decals. We didn't do the front. Yeah, that one's chipping a little bit. Maybe we should do that one. I actually voted against it because I just decided we would save it in case this one somehow flew off. But we replaced this decal because this one was all yellowed. I'm assuming just, you know, from being around the gas fumes so much, or maybe having gas spilled on it. I don't know if you guys ever got a clear view of that before, but it was this white section here and the logo were like completely yellowed, and it was ugly. So we replaced those. I do have actual antique plates on the car now. I can't, you know, blur those out because I'm not that skilled of a video editor. So please don't trace my plates or whatever the hell people do with license plates. But yeah, that's about it. So I hope y'all have a Merry Christmas, and stay tuned for more videos. I don't know if there's gonna be a whole lot because honestly, I'm about wrapped up with this project here. I'm actually looking to get a second gen Camaro now, so hopefully I can trade this up, or I might just sell it for some cash and see what we can do. Although honestly, I'm not trying to get a second gen in poor shape because those cars are extremely old at this point. I'm looking at like a 79 through 81 Z28. I'd like a manual. And you know, when you get that far back, that old with cars, you deal with a lot of rot and severe rust. So I'm not much of a welder. I don't really want to do floor pans. I don't want to do a trunk, and I'd rather just buy like a complete car. But yeah, unfortunately, I think I'm gonna liquidate this sometime soon. It's a hell of a car. It's super fun to drive, but honestly, it doesn't have enough character for me. It's kind of on the new side, so it does have all the fancy tech and stuff. I kind of just like bare bones 70s, and I really like the interiors of those Z28s with the leather seats and then the embroidered steering wheel, which this one doesn't have. And I know the earlier C4s did have an embroidered leather wheel that was really nice, but in specific, I'm really fond of those Z28 late 70s steering wheels and the interior that goes along with it. So that's always been a dream car of mine. I'm looking to sell this sometime soon. If you guys are interested and you're located in the Virginia area, give me a shout in the comments, and I'd love to connect. Maybe you'd like to buy this car. Obviously, you're familiar with the rebuild process and the current, you know, issues that it has. So just let me know. Anyways, that'll about do it for this video, and I hope y'all have a Merry Christmas and spend some time with family. And I'll see y'all in the next one.